Welcome back to Mikey's Orbital Garbage Project, where we're trying to do one thing. I gotta catch my breath. That is, collect a piece of trash. I haven't played the harmonica in literally years, but maybe that's our new thing. Maybe that's the thing that's pulling people in or pushing people out. Because we only want the most dedicated. That's right, this is a podcast, nay, a project all about one thing and one thing only, and that is collecting a piece of space trash or orbital garbage. It's one man, one mission, one community on a mission to collect a singular piece of trash that's going to cost not $1 but $2 million. How much money do we currently have? Zero. And boy, people said, Mike, where you been? Where you going? You still committed to this? It's been over a month since we heard from you. Have you given up? Are you tired of this? And I say, no. I haven't played the harmonica in over a year, and I just wanted to show you I'm dedicated. If it's been too long since you heard from me, just know I'm committed, that I have not given up. I will never give up, and I will never surrender. I heard that quote from Theodore Roosevelt. Oh gosh, it's a good quote. It'll keep us insane person doing. What is that quote? Let's look it up real quick. You know, you've heard of it. It's let's say the man in the arena quote. I heard this. I was listening to Oprah Winfrey's podcast because yeah, I do that. Here we go. Man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly. You get it. Who errs, who comes short again and again, and how I have done in this project. I did not get on Good Morning America. I did not get in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I have still not finished the picture book for all people. Colleen goes to space, but yet we continue on. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who does great enthusiasms? And boy, am I enthusiastic about space trash and collecting it. The great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause. And what cause is more worthy than collecting a piece of space trash and cleaning up our low Earth orbit so we can escape Earth one day when it all goes to kaput? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, and boy, he might, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall be ever be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. My man. Gosh, that's inspiring. Thank you, Oprah, for your podcast and showing me again the power of this project to not grow weary in this good work that we are doing. And boy, it is hard work. Here we are again, and thank you for being here. Let me tell you what, we have never been more successful on the podcast side of our project. Sure, the other efforts we've been doing, comedy, which we're going to get into in a minute, hasn't been going too bad, I will say. Could be better, but gosh, it's been some exciting stuff. And I'd like to think that it's contributing. Yes, I would like to think that it's contributing. How's that sound? That sound pretty good? Okay. We have never experienced more growth. I mean, our growth on the podcast, just on the audio version, has gone exponential. I mean, look at this graph I'm pulling up here. This was February 27th. We saw this growth. And I'm like, what happened on February 27th, 2026 to see this kind of growth here? This is insane. So I looked it up. Here's what happened on February 27th. And I want to hear from you, the faithful members of the Space Trash Force, what you think might have contributed to this sudden interest in our mission. Politics. Former President Bill Clinton testified in a closed-door House investigation concerning J.E. We won't say his name. I will say it. Jeffrey Epstein. The House Oversight Committee also discussed holding him in contempt. Now, what does that have to do with collecting space trash? I don't know, but that happened on February 27th. President Donald discussed the U.S. tough decision regarding Iran's nuclear program following stalled talks, noting the situation is, quote, very dangerous. Now, I don't know what this has to do with space trash. Seems unlikely. Let's see what else happened that day. In sports, this was during the Winter Olympics, Norwegian skier Johannes Hasflot Klæbo made history with 6 gold medals at Milano Cortina. I don't think that has anything. And yes, I don't know, Johannes, do you even know about what we're... Of course you don't know. Now here's something that might, just might, have impacted it. There was space news, which we're going to have some space news later today. Gosh, I can't wait to talk about it. NASA officials, including Administrator Jared Isaacman. Jared, what's up, man? We should collaborate sometime. Gave an update on the Artemis II mission following a rocket rollback. We're going back to the moon, folks. America, USA, is going back. So maybe the Artemis II news is what is propelling this renewed interest in space trash, and people have come across, like, who's this Mike Heath guy? And he has an orbital garbage project. Certainly that is a worthy cause to get into. Maybe I should check him out on Patreon and become a space cadet and pledge my allegiance to the space trash force to help him. I don't know. I don't know what is contributing to that. If you have other ideas of why there was this massive exponential increase in our listenership, let me know. I want to know because I want to replicate it. Because sure, it's great that we're an exclusive little club, in our little corner of the internet, but we got to go global. And boy, we are growing globally. Just over this last month, we have added not 1, but 2 new countries to the space trash force. Let's hear it for them, folks. That's incredible. I mean, I am just so excited. We have added the countries of Sweden. There is a listener in Stockholm. Now, what I know about Stockholm is they have a syndrome, the Stockholm syndrome, which I believe is where, you try to hold a bunch of merchandise, stock, and it's in a home. That's what they call shelves in Sweden. So it's the Stockholm syndrome is where you have too much product, too much stock on your shelves, the Stockholm syndrome. And I don't know how that came to my mind, but just there's little nuggets. I used to do trivia. I used to host trivia at this place in Cheney, Washington, still around North Star Taps. You should go support them and their local trivia night. I loved doing that. I miss it. But thank you to our Swedish listener. I want to know, how did you hear about Mike Heath's Orbital Garbage Project? What got you into this? Did a friend refer you? I know you didn't see one of our guerrilla marketing posters because we haven't been there, but boy, in fact, we would love to grow our Swedish listenership. We just got our first one. You can download this guerrilla marketing poster. You can hang it up. Now, I don't know, do the Swedish people speak English? That Google knew I was going to ask that. Yes, they generally speak English. 86% of the population proficient in language. That's perfect, because our guerrilla marketing poster, which you can see right here, is, and now if you're not listening, if you are only listening, you're only pumping this into your ear holes and it's not into your eye sockets. Check us out on YouTube and you can see what we're talking about. You can also check in the show notes a hyperlink to our guerrilla marketing poster. Download that. Go to your local library, print it for free. I'm not sure if you guys do that in Sweden. Okay, next, the next country we added over this last month, and boy, this is really exciting. This is the country of Ecuador. And we have a listener in Provincia del Tungurara. Provincia de... I don't know why I did like an Italian right there. I'm sorry. And I am sorry about that, actually. I do not mean to be offensive. I was legitimately trying to speak in and I've never been to Ecuador, and I'd love to go.
okay? Because you guys, I'm sure you're near the equator. Now, is Ecuador, now I know you guys don't, and gals, what language is, because I'd love to get, let's see, Ecuador English speakers percentage. Let's see what you guys, so Google says between 1 and 10%. So, okay, so that's going to be pretty hard for you all to read. Yeah, that's going to be tough, dude. So I think we need to get a Spanish version. And I know some, puedo hablar español un poquito. Necesito translatar mi poster en inglés. It's a pretty bad accent, but I know I need to get this in Spanish. But if somebody wants to help spell check on that, if you're a listener here, because I know we have listeners all over Spanish-speaking countries, help me out with that, okay? But thank you to our new Ecuadorian member of the Space Trash Force. So happy to have you here. You contributed to our exponential growth. Why? We do not know, but it could have been that space news. Cool stuff is happening in space. Did you know? Let's get into everyone's favorite segment, space news. Hey, Mike, where'd you get that news from? It's news from space. All right, so NVIDIA, they make computer chips, and they are backing this company that plans to put the first hotel on the moon by 2032. I'm recording this podcast episode in 2026, so in just 6 years, they plan to have a hotel on the moon. Now, we have not been back to the moon in, I don't know, something's like 50 years or something like that. Maybe even more than 50 years. I can't remember the first time we went there. But here's what it's going to cost. It's going to cost, guess. Take a moment. Think about how much a hotel costs in think about a luxury hotel in New York City, LA, maybe in Milan Cortiano. Thinking about one in Sweden, in Stockholm. How much does that cost? Now, a night on the moon is going to cost you, this is American dollars, so excuse me to my international listeners. This is the only dollar amount I have, but maybe you can translate it on your smart device if you have one of those. It's going to cost you $416,000, almost $417,000 a night. That's a fourth of what we need to collect a piece of space trash. So NVIDIA, I want to talk to you right now. If this is getting into your algorithm somehow, praise. You want to back this company, but I want to let you know you're making a massive investment, and it's going to be profitable. I'm sure people are going to want to do this. I would want to go to the moon because maybe on the way I could collect a piece of space trash, and maybe your travel is going to even make it easier, cheaper for me to get this piece of space trash. But my mission is to not only collect a piece of space trash, but raise awareness about space trash. So it's going to be an issue. Maybe by 2032, it will already be an issue. We're going to be trapped here on Earth because we have too much trash orbiting Earth. That's going to make space travel very dangerous and difficult. So what I want to do is offer a collaboration. Let's come together. Let's give me, a milli, maybe two. A milli. That's how many I need to collect a piece of space trash. And, we can collectively say, hey, space travel is safe. We're cleaning up the trash that's out there. I think we could do something here together. But that's pretty exciting. Hotel on the moon. I don't know what would you even call it? Lunar Inn. That probably doesn't sound fancy enough. Luna. Oh, La Luna. That's actually not a bad name because that's Spanish. Oh, I'm good at this. I am so good at this. Okay, so that's what we've been doing. We're experiencing growth, and I don't really know what's contributing to it, but I've been posting more. I've been trying to get on the internet more and post. Sorry about that. That was really loud. And I've been doing comedy. We're committed to it. We're doing the comedy, and I'd like to think that the stand-up comedy, and the other funny videos that we try to. I just recorded a funny video today. I'm really excited about it. I think this might be the one that gets me viral. Not that I even care about going viral. I don't want virality for virality's sake. No, I only want it if it will help us get closer to that piece of space trash. That's all I care about. That's all I want. That's all I need. Look, I could be an actor. Look at that. That was like a watch out, Leo. Here I come. No, where I've been doing. I've been doing comedy. We have got some funny clips we're gonna run through here because these clips there's too much context. I did this little show at an arcade bar. It's like this back room. They do a monthly show there, the Flip Off Arcade, south of Seattle, maybe in Puyallup. And I was doing my set, and I had this heckler here, so enjoy this little heckle clip.
What? Call her a Yankee.
Call her a Yankee?
Yeah, I learned that when I was going to say her full Yankee by the old lady that was working at Front Grill. And it's supposed to be offensive, but I was like, oh, you're 80 working at Front Grill, whatever.
Yankee?
Yeah.
Yankee Doodle? Yankee Doodle, put a hat on my head. Cover up this nasty haircut. I didn't know what to do with what you said, so I just, I decided to be silly, you know? A little silly good goose, that's what I am. No, I am very sweaty, and,
Killer response. I mean, how does he do it, folks? I don't know. And sometimes you get heckled when you're doing comedy. And it's usually from people you expect it. Now, I did this kids show here in Seattle a few weeks ago. I was doing this character, Tony Baloney, your Taekwondo homie, and that was pretty fun. But I just start off my set, I got heckled for about a minute by this child, and that was pretty fun. So enjoy this clip right here.
I am a black belt in Taekwondo. I got that in the 6th grade, so nobody respects it. I obviously am one because I'm wearing one right now, and you definitely cannot buy one of these off the internet. No, this is black, and
Buy that from Temu.
if you only knew, this is the highest quality. How do you even know what Temu is?
I mean, again, another just a sheckler, a shekel. I got a shekel for a heckle, a shutting down a kid heckler. I mean, that might be a clip. The thing is the quality of it isn't there, and honestly, I did not have a good retort to what he was saying. It wasn't phenomenal. He was more funny than me. And, sometimes, I just did this show in Enumclaw, Washington at this theater, my first theater gig for over 300 people. It was awesome. One of the best shows of my life. And I was feeling on cloud 9, dude. And I was like, dude, I am a comedian who is going to collect a piece of space trash because he is so good at comedy and podcasting and guerrilla marketing posters and writing picture books about lunch ladies collecting a piece of space trash. He's doing all this. And I was on cloud 9. The show started in this crazy way where the host got up and there was this feedback for probably close to 61 seconds long. And it was everyone was muffling their ears, and it totally cramped the vibe. And I was the next comedian up after the host. And I did this funny little thing.
I think we're good. I was sweating. You did not want to go through that. I'm still shaking from that, actually. I have not recovered.
Oh, look at this silly goose. What a silly little guy he is. No, that was awesome. But it was seriously one of the best. And people followed me on Instagram. So if you're listening after that show, and that never happens for me, but the host did a really good job of pushing that. So I really appreciate that. And so if you're listening to this podcast from that show, drop a comment. Let me know. Shoot me an email at mikeheathcomedy@gmail.com. Because that'd be fun, to connect more. That was such a fun show. Yeah, that was awesome. Then the next night, I did this winery show for like 40 people or less. And I did not do as well. I was kind of Philly farting around. I did some like newer jokes that, well, they probably weren't ready. In hindsight, which is 2020, which is actually my vision. I have perfect vision. I did not do that great. And the headliner was on, and this lady from the audience opened the door to the green room, popped in, and I was sitting with the other two comedians. It was just the three of us in the green room. And if you're at a comedy show and you're an audience member, you can't do this. You can't walk into the green room and say something to the comedians. That's like you just don't do that. That'd be like if you're going to a restaurant and you just walk back into the kitchen. Like there's health codes, there's protocol. You're not following the protocol. But if you're going to do that, you say something nice to the chef. Like, this was the best meal I've ever done in my entire life. The chef's going to be like, thank you so much, but you got to get out of here. You don't go back and complain, and that's what this lady did. She popped her head into the green room. She looked at the two other comedians in there, and she said, you all made the show. You were the show. That other guy, no. Thank you. And then she popped out. And I wasn't like hiding where she couldn't see. Like, she saw me in there, and I was like, boy, my blood is boiling. I wish I could have gone back up, and I don't know. I'm not mean. Sometimes I do kind of lose it on stage, though. I was doing this other show south of Seattle at this, where was this at? Where was it at? It's kind of like this like nightclub that has like a separate event space. I'm not going to remember. What was it? Beatdrop. I was there, and there was this guy heckling throughout the show, and he was there with like a big friend group, but half of them were on one side, half of them were on the other. And then I had this great riff because he had said earlier in the show that he got divorced. So enjoy this.
So are you guys sitting on separate sides of the room because of the divorce, or you got married folks here, right? Yeah. All right, okay. This guy, dude. I do love your hair, though. If I need to lube up something in my car, I'll go over there and touch it. Fix a squeaky wheel or something. I was mean. I do regret that. And, Lord forgive me. I'm sorry. My wife is watching on Twitch right now, so I'm going to hear about that one for sure.
Now, I will say I was maybe a little bit too rude to him there. And I do regret that. I do regret being that mean to him. And I'm sorry about that, friend. I'll call you a friend. But you did go to the bathroom like 10 times throughout the show. Not sure what you were doing in there, but I think we all kind of had a pretty good guess at what that was. I think that was fun. Okay, so then I also hosted for comedian legend Matt Braunger at Emerald City Comedy Club in January for a weekend. Great working with him. I don't have any clips from that, but sometimes you just have to say what you've done in comedy to remember that you are progressing, you are moving forward, and I'm pretty excited about what we got coming up with comedy. We'll be doing some upcoming travels, which I will share about later. Back to my old stomping grounds in the Midwest and South, where I never lived, but people often assume that I'm from the South because I live in Missouri, and we're a part of the Southeastern Conference for college athletics, so they think it's in the South, but actually we're just Southern Midwest. And there was nothing to say about that much more than just what I did. This has been really good. I've really enjoyed this. It's good to be back on the horse. was a pretty bad horse impression, but you have to try. You have to get better. And thank you so much for listening to this installation of Mike Heath's Orbital Garbage Project. Be sure to check out our extra episodes, our uncut episodes, our extra content over on the Patreon, patreon.com/Space and up. Get a sticker just for your first month. You stick around for a while, you get a t-shirt. You're going to get early access discounted codes to Colleen Goes to Space, which is the picture book that I'm writing. And the next episode on the Patreon actually is just more of an in-depth. We're going to workshop it a little bit, and just for accountability. And I'd love to hear your feedback. You know, it's if you're a member of the Space Trash Force over on the Patreon, you get shout outs on the podcast, number one. And then number two, you get to be a part of history. As we remember, no one has ever collected a piece of space trash and brought it back to Earth. And I'm going to be the first human to ever do it. And we are literally saving humanity from the danger of us being trapped here. And so if you want to be a part of like real change, you know, you can do it here with us. And I'm just so thankful. Thank you for all of our new listeners. You know, again, grab one of these guerrilla marketing posters. You know, we're going to get a pamphlet out here pretty soon. And I'm going to be excited to hand that out to people. We're going to be doing that. Get the stickers rolling out. Things have never been better. I've never been more encouraged. I've never been more dedicated. So thank you. We love you. And never give up, never surrender, and together we will clean up our orbital junkyard.
Great shot!